Hey guys, this is Greg Denning, and you are in the School of Awesome Sauce, where I share with you amazing stories and strategies to help you live an extraordinary life. Bonjour, my friends. Oh man, I don't know if you guys know this. I've been studying French for about 2 years. I just love it. Love French. And speaking of French, I love France. Our dream is to have a chateau in the French Alps with my big library. I want to have 9,000 or 10,000 books in my personal library, and I want to have a beautiful music room with a grand piano and the cello and the, our violins and guitars and the instrument where music is created. I want to have an art room with every kind of art supply you can conceive of, all set up where there can be any kind of artistic ability of drawing and painting and crafts. I want to have an exercise room with all the weights we need and a dance floor, gym floor, and the boxing bags where we can train and wrestle and do martial arts, and then dance on that thing when we want to dance, and have a rock climbing wall and a pool, and then greenhouses and gardens. And just have a setup there, a beautiful home that is just totally set up for learning. Everything about it, inside and out, is for inspiration and growth and learning. Whoa, man, I love this dream. And we're working to make that happen. And it'll have, it'll be outbuildings and barns, and then, other houses on it, small houses where we can have host retreats and have friends and family come stay, and we can just get together and study and learn and grow and enjoy life and make the most of our lives. We're going to make that happen. It's so exciting. But we want to have it in France. We went over and lived in France multiple times, all around France. We stayed, and in Morocco, and fell in love with French language and French food and French culture and just the great things they have to offer there, with just that sense of excellence. It's that culture of refinement and pursuing greatness. I love that stuff. And I also, I've been speaking Spanish now for 22 years. Just love that. And a lot of the family fluent in Spanish. Just love languages and learning and growing. It's awesome. But I wanted to share some stupid stories, right? Today, just, we can pursue these dreams, and we can be making so much progress and going along through life, but how often are we just shooting ourselves in the foot, or in this case, stabbing ourselves in the arm? Let me tell you a funny story. So my older brother's into personal defense, and he's worked as an air marshal and SRT, special reaction team, in the military, and he's done executive protection around the world with diplomats and high-ranking officers, and he's done, I think I said SWAT. He's done SWAT and police, and so he's all into the protection and those kind of things, and he's trained us how to shoot and fight, and done some things like that. And then I've done a lot of personal defense stuff and martial arts. Just I've enjoyed that. It's a great way to work out, fun things to train and learn. And anyways, one day we were together years and years ago, and he said, hey, let me borrow your pocket knife, and I didn't have one. And he's like, what? Like, you don't carry a knife? You don't carry a pocket knife? He's like, you're not a man unless you carry a knife. just kind of playing around, joking. He's like, well, let's go buy a knife. And so we went to a store and bought a knife that day. And ever since then, I've just carried a pocket knife, and I use it to peel oranges and cut strings and paper and open packages from Amazon. Real manly stuff, right? Cutting cheese sometimes, or getting peanut butter out of the jar with my pocket knife. But I had a knife, and when Rachel and I were first married, her little brothers were, around. I was getting to know the family. We were very first married, and I pulled out my pocket knife, and her little brother's like, "Oh, cool. Let me see." And I said, let me show you how this works. And famous last words, right? Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to use a knife. And I was trying to flip it out. It has a little knob on the pocket knife that if you flip it just right, you can flip it open pretty fast. Well, it was a slick knife, and I flipped it open, and it flew right out of my right hand and stuck in my left arm, like bloop. And it was just this little teeny stab, but man, I felt my hand go numb. And I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And I was like, so I went to my wife, and it was a little cut, it was bleeding, everything's fine. I could have put a Band-Aid on there, but I was like, honey, my hand doesn't feel right. Like, it doesn't feel right. We better go to the doctor. And she, of course, newlywed, was like, oh, what have you done, husband? And so we go to the ER, and the doctor gets in there. He opens it up, and he's just sticking things in there and pushing around, probably just kills. And he's looking around. He's like, I don't see anything. And he sticks a Band-Aid on it. And I was like, geez, that was like $100 Band-Aid. And he's like, well, more like $1,000 Band-Aid when the emergency room bill was over. And I said, but I still can't feel my hand. He's like, well, I don't see anything. I think it's fine. And I'm like, but I can't feel my hand. So then a couple days later, we set up an appointment with a special surgeon who specializes in the hand, and went into him. And sure enough, that one teeny little spot, I'm telling you, it was tiny, just boop, one little spot, and I had completely severed my radial nerve, which it's a nerve that runs down your forearm and brings feeling to your thumb and the back of your hand. So I'd severed my radial nerve and part of a ligament there. And so the surgeon said, well, we got to rebuild that. So huge huge moment of stupidness. Trying to show somebody how to use a knife. I cut my arm. And so we go into surgery, and the doctor's wearing these glasses that are like telescopes. It was amazing. They were maybe 4 or 5 inches long off of his eyes. And he told me he was going to use sutures that were so small he could put them in one of the hairs of my head, like the tiny, tiny sutures. And he was going to go in and get this little straw and attach both ends of my nerve back to both ends of the straw, and that the nerve would eventually grow back together and reconnect. And so he does the surgery, big long surgery, and now I have a good 5-inch scar on my forearm from this little teeny tiny cut, turns into a big scar. And he tells me, look, don't do anything. Okay, don't open the door, don't lift anything, do not grab anything with your fingers. Any kind of pulling motion will pull this thing loose. He said, just don't even use that hand. You don't want to tear those sutures. Those teeny little sutures will tear out of that straw and do that. And so we were coming into summertime. It was beautiful summer. And you guys know what's coming here. You add stupid on top of stupid. And I'm telling you this story. I'm just being open and honest here. I'm telling you this story so you can learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes here. So it's a gorgeous summer. I'd never had the chance to go to Bear Lake, and a friend of mine said, hey, we're going boating at Bear Lake. You want to come up? I'm like, wow, yes. By the time we had adopted a little baby, and so we're like, yeah, let's go. So new wife and myself and our new little baby go with our friends and their little kids, and we go up boating at Bear Lake. And Bear Lake is usually really cold, and on this particular day, it was actually really pleasant and warm. It was so nice, and I love wakeboarding. And so my wife, the baby is crying, so Rachel says, well, I'm going to go take the baby back for a nap, and she gets out of the boat and goes back, and so it's just me and my buddy in the boat, and I'm like, I bet you I could wakeboard one-handed. And so, oh man, we brought some sandwiches for lunch, and I took the sandwich bag, which is a nice long plastic bag, and I put it over my arm that had been operated on, over my bandaging there, and put a rubber band on it so it would stay dry. And I jump in the water, and I'm trying to get up one-handed, and I'm so close, I'm almost there. and I reach out just with my left hand that had been operated on, just a little bit, just to support me a little bit. And I grab hold of that thing, and I feel this little pop. And I was like, oh no, you have done it now. Oh man. Oh. And so I didn't get up. I didn't try. I went back and told Rachel, and she was not happy, of course. And a few days later, I go back to see the doctor because we were still going back for visits to make sure everything was healing. And initially when we very first went in, he said, well, I can tell right away if you've cut your nerve. And he just tapped his fingers. He would just, if you can imagine, just kind of tapping your 3 fingers. And he just came in and he just lightly tapped his fingers right on the spot where I'd cut myself with a knife. And it was excruciating, just so painful. He just tap, tap, tap. And I was like, wow, whoa. And he's like, yeah, you cut it. So he was just gently tapping. Every time I'd go in, he'd tap and say, how's that feel? How's that feel? And so I go back to the doctor's office, and I said, you don't want to know what I did. And he's like, well, tell me. I'm like, I'm serious. You don't want to know. And he said, tell me what you've done. And I told him the story of trying to go wakeboarding. And he started yelling and screaming. Like later, the nurses out in the hall were like, holy cow, we could hear him way out here. Whoa, that was bad. And he was so mad. And I was like, I'm sorry. It was so dumb. And he's like, look, come here. Let me see your arm. And instead of tapping lightly, he's tapping hard. And I was like, oh man, it hurt so bad. And anyways, I ruined my arm. I ruined that nerve. To this day, the back of my hand and my thumb are numb. Just have this numb sensation. I never got feeling back from the act of stupidity. And here comes the lesson for you and for me. When we do stupid things, we get the consequences. And our actions come back to get us. And it's a natural consequence for stupid things. And what's interesting about this lesson, it's true for life. Sometimes the stupid things we do cause long-lasting damage and even numbness. And, it's interesting. We all get in a bit of stupidness, right? It's like somebody one time said they called it not our idiosyncrasies, but our idiot-syncrasies, right? And perhaps we all suffer from a bit of idiot-syncrasies. And I want to try to share the story and encourage you to avoid being an idiot. If I can say it bluntly, don't be stupid, right? Don't do dumb things. Because it's interesting, we're acting in these moments of self-sabotage where we make decisions, sometimes repeatedly, that literally are stopping our own progress or hurting us or others around us and causing us to digress in life. And then we wonder why life is hard and why things are so frustrating, why we can't succeed when we continue to repeat the stupid things that are causing us problems and even creating long-lasting damage or numbness. Some of the big obvious ones are addictions. And getting into substances or habits that are just destructive. They literally do not bring any benefit to our lives. They might bring some temporary pleasure, a little bit of fun, but at the end of the day, none of those substances bring us the joy, the happiness, the success, the fulfillment, the meaning that we want and deserve in life. You deserve it. You deserve to live an epic life, an exceptional life, right? And you deserve to be happy. But when we make poor decisions, we lose that happiness. We lose the fulfillment, and we don't get we don't get what we really want. Somebody one time said the chief cause of failure and unhappiness in life is giving up what we want most for what we want at the moment. Let that sink in. How often do we give up what we really, truly want for what we want at the moment? And that includes, whether it's alcohol or drugs or pornography or even just entertainment. How often have we neglected improvement because of entertainment when we could have been reading books or spending time with our family or serving or developing a skill or a habit? We spend it just entertaining ourselves with some fluffy kind of entertainment. At the end of the day, honestly, was that like the most important thing you could do? Was it the thing that would really improve your life? Was it on your big goal list, right? When you sit down and say, these are my goals, these are the things I want to do in life, did it include binge watching Netflix for hundreds of hours a year? I don't think so. And yet we slip into these things, and literally our lives slip away from us. And so we're, some of the stupid things we do. And again, okay, I got to be careful here. This is not a guilt trip, and I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad here. I'm not trying to tear you down. This is an honest moment. This is why I told my stupid story first. So we can all recognize, okay, we make some poor decisions sometimes, and sometimes we do it repeatedly. And we can all just say, okay, if we had a little circle meeting here, hi, my name's Greg, I have done stupid things, and I still can't feel the back of my hand because of it. And all I'm saying to you, and to me, is I'm not trying to make you feel guilty or tear you down or anything. I'm just trying to say, hey, snap out of that. Is that really what you want? And every time, you guys, when I meet with people all over the world, what do you really want? People want to be healthy. They want to be genuinely happy. They want to have good relationships. They want to do something in life that matters, that gives them fulfillment. They want to achieve things. Everyone has that upward reach in them, right? That's why I always say reach upward. We all have that reach within us. We want to get a little bit better in every part of our lives. But then we're eating junk food. So our bodies feel cruddy. And we're not exercising enough, and we're staying up late and then sleeping in, and we're spending our time doing fluffy stuff and entertaining ourselves, and then we keep exploding and being angry, and then we're consuming substances that really aren't making us feel fantastic. And so now I'm pretty mad at myself because I ate this junk food. I didn't work out. I sat there and watched TV for hours, and I haven't been really improving myself to be able to be a better worker or a better spouse. I want to build this business, and I've been saying that for years, but I haven't done anything to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to throw out a whole bunch of examples here where we're making poor decisions. We're spending money on things that really don't matter. We're exploding in not resolving any emotional issues we have. So we got the temper, and we're playing the victim. We're blaming. We're complaining. We're kind of numbing, and then just existing. And we're in this walking coma, and we're kind of grumpy. And then we stop. Say, oh well, I'm not gonna do goals anymore. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just just deal with it. And so we become a defeatist, and we get a little apathetic and indifferent. And maybe it's maybe in some areas you're doing fantastic, but that one area that you're like, yeah, that's the one I need to work on. That one? That's what I'm talking about here. And really, I just want to say, let's learn from our mistakes. Let's stop repeating the erroneous thinking and decision making that's causing our problems. And together, let's unite and stop being stupid. You with me? Stop being stupid. And you know what? And I'm gonna be a little bit serious with you here. I'm gonna get in your face a bit, and you need to get in your own face. Look in the mirror and say, "Hey, you're better than that. Come on, self. You're better than that. Respect yourself a little bit. Don't eat that crap. That's disrespectful. Exercise. Be kind. Grow. Improve. Stop making dumb decisions. Start making great decisions. Make some commitments to yourself and stick to them. This is why I run the monthly School of Awesome Sauce mentoring and coaching, because people get in there and we get a tribe, this community to support each other. We get accountability. We help track, AM routines and PM routines. We set some goals and actually hold ourselves accountable. And we start getting these things going, and you should see the results that our community puts in there, right? The members in the School of Awesome Sauce, the Awesome Saucers, the things they put in there, they're literally changing their lives, transforming their lives, because they're consistently now making good decisions and acting on them. So you probably know what decisions you need to make and what things are self-sabotaging. And again, self-sabotage will be any thought, emotion, action, habit, self-talk, any words you're saying. Because you guys, our words are prophecy. The things you say consistently end up creating your reality. So if you're talking to yourself negatively and you say negative things about yourself or about life, you're literally setting yourself up to fail. So I want you to identify the one or two things you know, and probably during listening to this, you've been sitting there like, oh yeah, it's that thing. And you know what it is. Stop doing that. And make the most of it. Repair what you can. And for those of you who might be feeling pretty beat up and pretty down and pretty disheartened and guilty and shameful for the mistakes you've made, and I've made my fair share of mistakes, my friends, please know there is forgiveness and there is hope. And I wish I was with you. I'd give you a big old bear hug and say, you can change. Man, and I don't care what anybody else says. They say, I hear people all the time say, oh, you can't change. It's bogus. You can change. And I want to give you hope that you can change and you can make amends. And sometimes, like my hand has some long-lasting consequences here. But I can, and honestly, I guess if I had the opportunity, I would not get it fixed, because having this numb hand and thumb is a reminder for me to not do stupid. And it's a lesson for you, and it's a lesson for me and all of us to stop the stupid. We should do like a hashtag. Hashtag stop the stupid. And just, you guys, come on, let's live great. Let's step it up. Stop making those decisions. If you have something in your life right now that you know is preventing you from reaching your full potential, get it out of your life. For some, that might be junk food. For some, it might be porn. For some, it might be caffeine, or drugs, or alcohol, or tobacco, or just binge watching anything on screen. Maybe it's a screen addiction, or whatever kind of problem there. Maybe it's laziness. Maybe it's a bad attitude. You'll know what it is. But whatever it is that's standing between you and your full potential and living an extraordinary life, get that thing out of your life. And if you don't know how to do it, you're like, yeah, I want to do that, but I don't know how. Shoot me an email. Send me a message. Join the School of Awesome Sauce. Sign up for our group mentoring courses and extraordinary marriage course, extraordinary parenting course. We have courses here that literally, like, we live for this stuff to help you become your best self and overcome those obstacles and make it happen. So let us help you. Go after it. Become your best self. You guys, awesome is always an option. Doesn't matter what's been done, what mistakes you made, where you're at right now. Awesome is always an option. It's always an option. Even to you, it's an option. You can make new decisions and become a new person and transform your life. Whoa! You can make it happen. Love you guys. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for being a part of this community. And making this desire you have in your heart to do great things and be a great person. And you are a great person. Let me emphasize that. Like the mistakes we make don't define us, right? They can actually refine us. And the stupid things I've done, they don't define me. They actually have been a huge catalyst to refine me so I can become a better man and a better person. So awesome is always an option. Reach upward. Love ya. Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening to this episode. I hope you got a lot of value out of it and found some things that you can apply to your life right away. Hey, I'm being totally sincere when I say I live to help you live your extraordinary life. So I hope you'll reach out to me if you have any questions, or let me know how I can help you in any important area of your life. And in fact, this podcast is brought to you by the School of Awesome Sauce monthly coaching program. Take advantage of that. Get in there. If it's the best way to get a breakthrough to the next level so you can level up your health, your spirituality, your emotions, your mind, your relationships, your finances, business, every part of your life. Just get in there where you have a coach and a mentor. You have a supportive community to make things happen. So jump in there, take advantage of this, try it out, get in there with us, and level up your life. See you on the inside. Reach upward.